Broadcasting live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. Brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers Report alongside Seth, Merrow, and Anthony Mormino. And I would bet about as much money as I'm going to make the next month that there is no way Seth Merrow went to a store and bought that tie, because that is spanking good.
Yeah, no, it's a nice tie. Yeah,
that is a winner chicken dinner.
I'm like a solid color kind of guys. We've kind of
realized. If you pass that off to me, I'd be very happy. I have a soft gray suit that is a spanking tie.
But even a solid pink, I don't think I'd normally go.
It's not too many days you win the tie day, but you thumped me today.
Thank you.
You know, today is not even close. It would be like Foreman and Frazier, 74 in Kingston, Jamaica. Down goes Frazier. First off, I went out this morning early, it was spectacular at 6:30 this morning. It is more so now. I don't have the chill today.
Nice.
This is a 10.25 on a scale of 10 this morning. So I hope I don't pay attention to the weather hour by hour, but I hope the humidity is blown out for at least a day. Last night was great. It's wonderful weather. Racetrack is firm and fast. It's just all we could ask for. It's a Saturday, big day down at Monmouth Park, their big day. Didn't they used to run the Haskell mostly on Sunday?
That was a brief period, I think.
Was it?
I think
okay.
So.
All right.
That's what I was.
Because it was usually like the day after the gym, Dandy. But you might be right. It might have been only a brief period of Sundays. Is your partner down there?
He is.
He is. So because he's done some calls from the road on the way back for the show, right?
Yeah.
Is he going to be in person?
No, we're gonna have.
Is he gonna be on the road again?
So
guest
substitute,
guest co-host.
Yeah.
Very good. You're being very on the down low here. So
I'm debating whether I should make people tune in to find out.
Move on. I think that's a good angle. Quick thought on the Haskell. You want to go that direction?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Just to me, the way the race shows up, it can only be journalism or Burnham Square.
Yeah.
I mean, there seems to be multiple front-end horses. I mean, multiples. Now, I know it's Monmouth Park, and from time to time, they've been known to favor horses who have good early speed.
I mean, that's the thinking. If you have a horse that maybe has a little trouble getting the mile in an eighth and doing it on the front end, this is the place to take your shot.
I ever tell you the first time I went to Monmouth was for the 87 Haskell. That was Lost Code, Ali Sheba bet twice. And I looked out at the racetrack, and I turned to my buddy and I said, there's no way Ali Sheba can win. The stretch is so short. I mean, you're just like, forget having speed being an advantage. It's like, he was a little immature still to get rolling. He didn't have tactical speed yet that he developed later.
I printed mine up before the morning line. Do you have the morning line?
I do not. I was the same guy. They must have been late because I only printed this out like 2 days ago. They clearly haven't followed the fairground models to get them out a week beforehand, but I did not. But that is a great.
And I'm curious because I think I'm assuming if you can pull it up, journalism I would assume will definitely be the overwhelming favorite. Burnham Square may be in the ballpark, and then I think everybody else would be kind of chasing, I would guess. There's some interesting horses in here if people want to play around. I always think Vicky Oliver is intriguing and comes in off the win in the prep for this, the Pegasus with Bracket Buster. So that one, again, and BBN Racing is the group that pulled Jim Boeheim in a few years ago to a horse that ran in the Derby.
4 to 5.
4 to 5. So it's Burnham Square.
5 and goal-oriented. The Bob Baffert horse on the outside has been working bullets is 4 also.
Yeah, okay.
And then
And that one's intriguing too. Yeah, the Bullets out of Santa Anita. Bob Baffert coming. But
here, and I agree with you about goal oriented. Flavian was not here. He's down there to ride that runner, but there's just so much tied on to. He's on the outside, excuse me, and there's other horses that I project have to go. Now, I think I'm not even so sure he's the speed of the speed. I mean, if he goes, I think he is. I apologize. Is Gosker is the other one that he's got, I think, quality, good early speed. And I also think he's the last of he's 4.5 to 1. So Journalism at 4 to 5, Burnham Square at 5, Gosker at 4.5, and Goal Oriented at 4.
If people don't remember, go back and refile in your brain that stretch run in the Preakness where he was the winner because Journalism got into all that trouble. And Gosker, mid-stretch, you had to think, and then he just gets run down by a very big performance from Journalism. So Gosker may be interesting too.
I think it is. So it's, we'll see, but it figures it is Monmouth Park. It does figure to be really like shooting fish in a barrel race setup for Journalism. I mean,
you would think.
It's hard for me to imagine that they could draw up a grade 1 race. Maybe it was 1.25 miles, but at 1.125 miles, they'd be like that. They could draw one up themselves better than this.
Yeah. I mean, he went off as the favorite in all 3 of the Triple Crown races. A couple of seconds bookending the win.
Now, do you know who else did that? But he didn't win any of them. I think he was the first horse ever to do it and go over. I think Chief's Crown was the favorite in all 3 Triple Crown races back in '85. Right? Yes, winner of the first Breeders' Cup race. They ran the Juvenile first back in '84, and you want to know what? He beat 2 classic winners, Spend a Buck and Tank's Prospect. But I think Journalism is in a very good spot. He seems to take the rigors of working out and running with, in this day and age, we'd almost have to say, Seth, dancing every single dance, and forgetting there is a layoff line, but I would say to you that this horse has never been out of training.
That's fair, I would think.
I think the reason
December
that there's
to March,
right, you're not gonna, the reason there's that gap is because that's when the San Felipe was run, and that you have to figure that's when they were going to start their Triple Crown plans. And I've said this before about the layoff line, and kudos that they advance it. It's almost like I think it should be when the horse isn't in training anymore, and you should talk to trainers. I doubt that Journalism was ever taken out. I'd like to ask Michael McCarthy, did you ever? No, I didn't take him out. He's going forward. The race is, March 1. The race is March 1. If the race had been February 20th, I'm running February 20th. So that's to me. But a great day at Monmouth Park. I hope they get
we mentioned the Haskell, but it's a huge day of stakes action across the board there. United Nations and the Molly Pitcher.
And I'll say, I've said this before, Naira was ahead of the curve, and I want to say 1983. But definitely by 84, Seth, when they just put in a boatload of stakes races on their biggest day. That was not a thing before. But Monmouth by 87 was doing it too.
Yeah.
Just a whole boatload of things. Thoughts on yesterday? Just a couple?
Well, I'll start yesterday. It was opening day at Del Mar where
22,000
was there.
So 1.4 million minimum
with the
in admissions fees.
God bless them. But the card itself, at least a couple of favorites, maybe 3 favorites, but there were 5 horses that were over $20. Yeah. So there's
DQ,
pick 6 carryover today.
DQ, we had it all yesterday. Yeah. And Lyle the Crocodile ran very well, but even if I had won, and I had been very happy, the favorite who lost was, as they say, tons the best. If you watch the replay, I almost can't describe the incident at the start, which involved the favorite and my top pick. They were next to each other. My top pick, Lyle the Crocodile, he kind of like does a bunny hop coming out of the gate. Not like it's hard to describe. It's not the normal hop. And then the favorite kisses the turf. And 19-1 shot wins. And as Seth said, big carryover. How Larry Comas doesn't do, and away they go after 40 years of Trevor. But so be it. It was beautiful there. As Seth mentioned yesterday, a $73 general admission, and they dressed up and they came, folks, as it's a cultural happening. But I will say this, unlike years ago, Seth, there's no way that was the most attended event. There used to be 35,000, and no baseball games would on a Wednesday. They used to open on Wednesdays, would get 35,000, but they 22. I think the record's like 44. So it has softened up over the years, and maybe the $73 did it.
Yeah, well,
but I will say this. But I also say this: Del Mar is not comfortable with 45,000 people. That's why I love Santa Anita for the Breeders' Cup.
The pre-article, and I don't know who wrote it, the West Coast correspondent, I suppose. I think it was in the Racing Forum. I read it. Kind of alluded to opening day hasn't been as big a push from the Del Mar side of things since the pandemic. They still play into it, but they're not quite, well, as you said, if you get the huge crowd, it's
Del Mar is small,
pleasant,
folks. But, I had a friend at the Breeders' Cup, because I've never been to the summer meet. He said to me once, I go, John, you're looking at the whole place. This is it. So 20,000 there is magnificent for the experience.
So maybe they're just happy, and if they can get
1.4 million, you're kind of happy. And I figured that's the minimum, because some tickets for seats and everything.
That was general admission. That just got you in to stand there.
They might have made 2.8 million. So just a couple quick things here. 5 turf races here yesterday. 5 New York State breds, but obviously Leslie's Rose was very good. Better than she was, I believe, in the Ashland. Her 3-year-old big victory. Great job by Todd Pletcher. 4-1 scores a victory. For the selfish side, Simulate 3560 for me makes up for the bagel on my birthday. So that got me back in the black for this meet. And
was that that was the Mott horse. That was
Claiborne.
And I went
cover. It was just
I went
exploded.
Back and looked at that.
Was
and that's also a horse. I wish I could actually credit by name. And I was trying to think yesterday where I ran into the person. But I think it was
why I
right
wore
over
Claiborne colors.
There you go. I don't blame him. I think I ran into him on the front side. But a gentleman walked up to me the other day and said, "Have you noticed this? New York trainers are sending some horses down to Delaware, and they'll run okay, and they come back to New York and win at a big price." And I looked at that afterwards, and I said to him,
"Not for anything.
I'm going to watch
He's
that."
He's a year late on that.
He might have been going back to last year.
Okay, I think he is.
Because
this meet is so young. But he probably was.
I said, I'm going to watch that now. And that was when, and I went back and looked, and I thought, not breadboarding. I don't know if I would have put the horse on top. Congratulations on that. But it definitely was worth putting in the mix if you looked up at the board and saw the price.
I'd have to say one thing. I thought David kind of nailed the 12-1 morning line odds. He was down inside. I mean, he was about a $20 horse to me. Yeah. So 35 is where, for me, that's a huge overlay, which is what you're looking for. A couple other things, and this is what the horizontals, it bugs me. I wish we could have the data on what the pick 4, pick 5, and pick 6 was. With I'm very busy at 3 to 4, I considered a triumph at a public handicapper that I didn't have him in my trifecta, and he didn't run in the trifecta. And then Raging Sea, who I didn't have on top at 3 to 5. I would love the pick 4 came back about 1,900. The pick 5 came back 5,500, and the pick 6 came back about 45,000. I would love to know the data on what those prices would have been with those 2 horses, with one of those horses, because I think that would make it even more attractive. I think letting out that information would make it more attractive as a bet.
Yeah.
I mean, would the pick 4 have come back like $80 if the 2 of them win? Would it have come back $700 if one of the 2 win? Because I'm thinking 3 to 4 and 3 to 5, there's about the equal number of things. And
it used to be in the pick 5, if you could get past 1, you were okay. 1 favorite, you'd get some juice perhaps. But in the pick 4, if 2 of them get in there,
But I would love to, and I would think based on the nature of this, would they have to release that data? You can't hide the money, can you? You can hide the attendance, but I don't think you can hide the money. But I'd like to know how many tickets were on both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I maybe that's not interesting to people, but I think it's extraordinarily interesting.
I think you take a reasonable guess a lot of times when they're super short prices.
Well, here's the problem: when they're not the last leg, you don't know. Yeah, you completely don't know. Yeah. You know, so but I mean, you have to guess. And I'd be interested to know which one of them losing hurt more people.
I'm guessing Racing C.
See, yeah. I do too. I mean, I didn't have I'm very. I thought I'm very busy is first or not, and that's not a good dynamic in my opinion on a 3 to 4 shot, and he was the or not. So that was But I will say this: the old Charlie Whittingham angle for Chad. Probably not the spot he was seeking. Yeah. He got his practice in. Yeah, right. Bad for the bettors, but you're supposed to know
the one that worked out for me was Big Everest at $15. And coming down the stretch, I thought, hold on. And he held on by about half a length. It's one of those that you love to see where when you have them, where another horse is coming and has the momentum, and then your horse looks over and says, nah, not today, and digs in. So it was a nice win for Big Everest, who a nice, talented runner for Dean Reeves and company. Has been throughout the career.
Well, that's beating the Chad horse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's we're supposed to take a spot. That's it. The business for today before we get to the Apollo play of the day?
I will start by giving you the lineup top of the hour. Should be a fun show today. We will be joined top of the hour, racing across America. Kendrick Carmouche will come over. Everybody loves Kendrick. Always has a smile on his face. He has an event coming up, annual event. He's going to have Gumbo with Kendrick, benefiting Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation on Monday. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but also some of his recent success. And he's got some in this afternoon in the stakes as well. Also be joined a little bit after that by Will Walden, fairly new on the training scene.
First off, the AE, second one in 3 days, wins by a pole.
I thought of that when he won.
When he got in.
There's your angle, getting.
But he wasn't a competitive edge angle. Like everyone knew not to let him in. Yeah. But he was.
But we'll talk with him because he has Pipsy coming up in the Crest this afternoon. Some other horses maybe to keep our eyes on as well. And then Jose Santos. I'm walking through the grandstand and
Jose,
funny side fame. I'll have his son on at some point too. I've talked to him a few times at the meet already.
Us oldies think of him as the Break the Angel Cordero streak fame.
Break. Oh, okay. Yeah. And we will talk a little bit about success at Saratoga and beyond. And as I say, I was walking through the grandstand yesterday, saw him. I said, hey, come on over and sit in for some TV. He said, sure. So that's the lineup coming up at 10 o'clock here at Capital OTB over the next few days. As far as promos, the Bounty Bet returns today. Play the late pick 5 right here at Saratoga. Play it with your Capital OTB bet account. You're in. That's all you have to do. Play the late pick 5 with your Capital OTB bet account. Down at the Clubhouse Racebook today, King of the Hill contest. A little extra fun today at the Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. The same spot that tomorrow, $100 knockout challenge. So again, you can keep up with all the promos and events at Capital OTB. And with Del Mar Racing, we are open a little bit later on Fridays and Saturdays at the Clubhouse Racebook, so you can enjoy racing action, sports, grab a little something to eat at Black Bear. Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany.
And today's the San Clemente, I think a very competitive turf stakes race for the 3-year-old fillies today. So we'll have the play of the day there for you. Speed shopper for Will Walden off of the effort down at Ellis. Just zinged him. Now, here's something I wanted to point out because Seth and I have worked together really during the evolution of this game. So yesterday was July 18th. How about for the late pick 4? Big Everest, 3rd start of the year. Leslie's Rose, 3rd start since last year's Coaching Club American Oaks. So that's almost 12 months. And the late Daily Double, both runners making their 4th starts, the 2nd start of 25. So in the second half of the year, you had about 8 races, prep races for, their victory.
21st century.
And that cuts across, it's not just stakes horses. It's not prepping them for their biggest effort of stakes races. That's that's just, well, there's that. So we ready for the DePaula play of the day? It's got to be a yes. I don't hear a yes.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
Hello, everybody. Kevin Cox, the Brooklyn Cowboy, here with your DePaula Play of the Day for Capital OTB from beautiful Saratoga Race Course. We've been giving you our plays of the day on Fridays and Saturdays throughout the meet. And over the last 3 years, we've shown a flat bet profit each year and are shooting for the Grand Slam this year. We base our success on a 50 to win, 30 to place, 20 to show wager. And our play of the day today is in race number 3, number 4, On the Ledge. Right off the bat, you have to give Bruce Brown credit for dropping 30 large for this animal after a 14-month hibernation. Because not only was fitness a question, but how much upside would there be should he have won at odds on that day, which he did in easy fashion. Well, it turns out there has been plenty of upside, as this Bay Boy, despite another extended absence, has rung up 2 wins and 2 superfecta completing finishes in his quartet of starts since, while showing versatility in having done such on 2 different surfaces at 3 different ovals. He comes in today off the 3 best numbers of his career, and he's hiked in class for the 3rd consecutive time. And although he may have outran his turf pedigree a bit in the win last time out, a lot of times with these turf sprinters, they don't know what surface they're on until the race is nearly over. So sometimes it doesn't really translate that well as it does in rooting races. So that being said, we're going to pin our hopes to this one at generous odds of 9-2 morning line. And our DePaula play of the day today, once again, is in race number 3, number 4, On the Ledge. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you at the races.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The opener, State Breds, 2-year-olds, maiden special weights on the dirt, 5.5.
4, 7, 2, and 6. Number 4 is Boloro. Had Jeremiah, and I forgot to ask him. It was on my list.
If this one's gonna run,
we got so involved in other things at the end of the interview, I forgot to ask. But when he sat down, I said, "Still going," and he kind of indicated he liked the horse then, but I would have liked to flesh it out a little more. But I like the horse because I like Boltioro as a sire of win early types. 41 first-time starters this year, 6 wins, 6 seconds, 3 thirds, 12 times in the exact end, 41 starts. Boltioro solid with win early types. And the Dam has produced a couple of win early ones. Brose, 3rd, and then had a win in the 2nd start. Defending Albert won the debut. So I thought there was win early, top and bottom. Jeremiah off to a nice start here at the meet as well. So we'll put Boloro on top. 2nd slot, we're going to take a look at Blue Highway. Rick Dutrow, first-time starter. Dam produced Girl of Toscanova that won her career debut. Sister Linda won the 2nd start, as did Empire Image. So I thought there was win early for this one as well. And in the 3rd spot, number 2, Credit Risk. It's a Phil Serpy trainee debuting. Bellicose, the sibling, was a debut winner. The only other sibling won in the 4th career start. So I thought there was a little win early there as well. Shaq T was kind of interesting if you watched workouts. Victory Hall, I think, could be interesting in the debut. But for me, 4, 7, 2, and 6.
I'm certainly hoping Victory Hall is interesting here. My top pick, 6, 8, 4. we're dealing with 7 firsters. The 5 is the veteran, not even on either, but just, an offspring of Independence Hall, Carlos David, just solid workouts for a debut, just guessing on a pronunciation. You think it's number 8 is Atenia? I don't think it's Aitnia. So I think it may be Atenia.
Atenia sounds good.
Okay. This is a grandson of Liam's Map. Wasn't he just running a couple years ago? Still wish he had run in the Classic against American Pharoah. So that was 2015. He's already a grandfather. And then Bolaro matching Jeremiah Engelhardt. That was the, Rocket Rob, where he scratched out the Army Mule Horse.
Right.
The two morning line favorites both scratched out. The 1 and the 2. I think he was the 2. And then Rocket Rob just down the road.
Second race this afternoon. We talked a little bit about the weather. And you said it a little warmer today.
Then yesterday.
But temperature-wise, I'm wondering, because yesterday we had the breeze that I think was cooling things off as well.
Maybe.
But it is more comfortable today. But that said, yesterday afternoon was gorgeous.
Yes.
Over there was.
Yes.
You couldn't ask.
Well, you could tell, we said, all we had needed was the temps.
Yeah.
As it warmed up, it was going to be great.
Yeah. And I expect more of the same today. Second race today, State Bred Maiden Claimers, a mile and a 16th on the grass.
5-2-8 for me, going to Chris Engelhardt, making the 3rd career start, first time around 2 turns. And it's an offspring of tourists, and turf stallions are not talked about very, very much, but he was brilliant up here, brilliant in the Breeders' Cup. For second, Trinity River, first time in for a tag for the Linda Rice runner. Debut, first 3 starts, all hitting the board on the turf. Gets a good post position draw, an English Castle. We take blinkers off. 5-2-8. Just a quick note. I mean, we all saw it, but if you don't follow it every day, the rails are up on both courses.
I went 2, 8, 7, and 10. Trinity River. The first 3 starts of the career were legit, and they were on turf. And then, as a lot of New York breds, you get to the end of the season, there's no more turf racing, so you take your shot. You experiment a little bit. And the first try in the dirt was good enough, I think, that they said, okay, let's take another shot. And then they said, well, let's wait for the turf. And maybe a little bit of a late start would have you concerned and coming back for the tag. But I think off of what we saw on the turf last year, this one probably will prove to be the one to beat. We'll find out at 1:07 this afternoon. Oh, and don't forget, it is a 12:30 post time today. But I'll put that one on top. English Castle in the second spot. Horacio De Paz runner comes in with some front-running tries in the most recent starts. Faded a little bit in both of those. They take the blinkers off. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays into his pace scenario. But I think off the first 2 starts and now getting a little class dip in the 3rd start of the season, English Castle is also dangerous. And another one that seems to have looked better on turf so far in 6 career starts. 2 of those were on the turf. And certainly number-wise, they were better for Salamini's Legacy, the number 7 horse. So at 15-1, getting back to the grass, I think very playable in here. In the second race, it'll kick off an early pick for 2, 8, 7, and 10.
On to the 3rd, State Bred entry-level allowance, dashing 5.5 on the turf.
3, 5, 4, and 8. Number 3 is Not For Hire. Again, another one of those that is making the 3rd start of the season. Always like that angle as being able to expect a nice performance. First-time gelding symbol here. It's George Weaver who's off to a nice start. Everything kind of adds up to think Not For Hire is a solid player. Bosun in the second spot. Joe Sharp trainee comes in the 4th start of the season. The 3rd start of the season actually wasn't as good as the first 2. The form seems to be going backwards a little bit, but on the numbers, I think a square fit with this bunch and an improved performance off of the last effort, at least, I think is expected. And then on the ledge, the Kevin Cox play of the day, coming off a nice win when moved to the turf last time. I could see Bruce Brown's trainee putting a couple together in the 3rd, 3, 5, 4, and 8.
Since Bruce Brown has already put it together at this meet.
I saw him in the winner's circle. I said, hey, put me on speed dial when you have the $47 horses.
Probably going to be a very positive ROI. Bruce doesn't run up. I don't expect him to run 24 horses at the meet, but maybe he will. I see it very similar. 3, 5, 7. I want to make 2 notes. One is this is a race where sometimes the horses I put for 3rd, I really see that being almost a ceiling for them. That's not the case with Identity Crisis. I think this race is 5 or 6 deep, and Identity Crisis is in that mix for the win photo for me. And I agree with Seth the first two. The other thing I want to note is, and I find this incredulous in this day and age. The other day, thankfully, Maggie Wolfendale was able to correct the information that it was not a first-time gelding. It was a second-time gelding. Not for hire as a first-time gelding. According to some trainers we've talked about, May 26th, as much as I shake my head, that's a reasonable time for them to come back. This is something, because of the nature of the operation, there's no wiggle room. You know exactly when it happened. And I think they should be reported to say, if you're planning, you run on my circuit and you're planning on running again, I want the phone call immediately. What's the guy doing? Or gal? Just came out of the operation. I just gelded such and such. Put it in the data bank, move on.
All right. We'll head to a break as we continue our look at Saturday afternoon here at Saratoga. So stay tuned.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
The only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. Seth and Anthony Mormino here on a beautiful Saturday morning, which the horses are eating up too. We've had a number behind us, and you can see they're enjoying the fine weather here on a Saturday morning. A little bit later this afternoon, race 4 will go off at about 2:13 scheduled time. It's an allowance non-winners of 1 other than 3/4 of a mile is the trip.
6-3-2, my top picks here, and my starting point is that Strong State has had enough time since the 3-year-old debut, which was June 4th, off of that victory in a 1X for our friend Al Stahl. 1 at Saratoga in the second career start. And I've said to you, and I'm really starting to sink my teeth in this, Seth, I like horses that, as 2-year-olds, break their maidens and get like 70s. I don't want the 92s. I want the 70s, because with the 92, how much growth is there, etc. Strong State in a 1X here is my top pick out of the starter allowance victory. Paula's Star, I think it's a very competitive race. The effort at 24-1 up here at the Belmont meet for Tom Morley is a solid to build off effort. And for third, Fantastic Flame, 6-3-2.
I will admit I missed this until you started talking. But how is Strong State in here?
Is that a starter allowance?
It's listed as an allowance non-winners of 1 other than.
What's the S?
Oh, you're right. There is a little teeny S there. Yeah. So that must be it, because starter wouldn't. Good catch there. I didn't see.
Well, I also think that's newer.
I think I absolutely think
that's how they're designated.
Yeah, starter allowance.
And the one thing I think that's good about this, not to go on a tangent, but in New York, we've already had this meet starter 20s and starter 50s. Showing a designation that.
And that has to be what it is, because you're exempted with the starter. this is my dark horse play today. I'll get to that in just a second. I want to say I'm kicking
myself. I was intrigued you chose an 8-1 shot on top.
I'm not sure we'll get 8-1. We'll see. But
I think you're getting it. I think there's 3 or 4 horses around 3.5 to 1 that's going to almost ensure you get at least 6.
But yesterday I kicked myself at the end of the day. A lot of times I get there and I'm like, I'm between 2 and
always take the longer price.
I'm trying to think of what's the longer price. They may have been fairly similar. Yeah. But the one I went with top of the stretch, I thought, we're in a good spot, and then it kind of flattened out in the stretch. And the one I, shied away from a little bit, Sunday Boy yesterday, who had the dam had 4 siblings, produced 4 siblings. 3 of them had won their debut, and Sunday Boy went off. It had to be a longer price. So eventually went off at 20 to 1, and ran great to get second. But by the time Sunday Boy got going, the winner had already gotten the jump. So ran great. So it's like a $14 place and a $7 show. And I just kind of kicked myself that I, zigged when I should have zagged, but it happens. So we'll see what happens today with the play of the day in the 4th, 7, 5, 4, and 3. Our Dark Horse play today brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile and Impressions of Saratoga, both in downtown Saratoga on Broadway. Again, if you're downtown, stop by and say hello. But number 7, Claire's Run, play of the day. Phil Bauer trainee. And on my stats, no starts yet at the meet. Now, I printed this up a few days ago, and I meant to go look it up.
I think that's accurate.
I think it's accurate, too. I don't think he has either. So, given that, Phil Bauer had a really nice meet up here last year and got off to a great start. Phil won 3 of his first 5 at Saratoga last year. That included the first win in his first start of the season last year, which happened on July 19th. In an allowance, non-winners of one other than a horse called Princess Madison was coming in off a 7-length win in a maiden special weight at Churchill. I don't know if you could match up more things to this horse than that. And so on that, and again, I'm not saying it's mystical, and it says that Phil comes in with a little bit of intent in a situation like this, and he had a talented horse last year that got the victory down at Churchill, came in and got it done in the first start of the season in it, as I say, a very similar condition last year. So this one at 8 to 1, I think is really interesting on that angle. Jose Ortiz jumps on board. I'll go with Claire's Run as my dark horse play today in race number 4. It's horse number 7, Claire's Run. Underneath, we're going to look at Roswell. Comes in off a nice second place finish in the seasonal debut back on Belmont Stakes weekend. Bill Mott trainee. Bill Mott certainly doing well over the past few days. And just the Fats Jack in the 3rd spot for me. Wasn't the seasonal debut, but close to it. Had a January start, then laid off until June, and had kind of an improved effort to run very good second on the front end. I would expect this horse to be maybe a little more potent today, trying that front end strategy. I would think that would be the game plan. So for me, 7, 5, 4, and 3.
And with Mr. Mott's nearly $36 winner, he has an excellent chance, even though his horses are rarely overlooked, to have a positive ROI. I see July 19th, and I think of one thing in horse racing. In my opinion, probably one of the 5 most dynamic debuts ever. It was 7/8 going on the turf for a 2-year-old named Paradise Creek.
Well,
it was riveting how big it was. On to the 5th, 3-year-olds, optional claimers, 2X, mile 16th on the inner.
8, the 1 entry, 6 and 2, Activist Investing on top, as the name indicates. It's a Klarovich horse. Klarovich from Chad Brown. Big gap. September 2023 until February of this year, and now has another gap. So if you're kind of like, I'm a little leery on that one, I don't blame you. But certainly on a best effort, this horse is going to be the one to beat. And off the long layup, ran well back in February. Now we have a shorter layup, but clearly Chad Brown can have them cranked up and ready to go. So I'll play that one. We also have to deal with the outside post position, but it's 8. So not way out there necessarily. I'm just looking. Actually, it would be.
Well, you're dropping over, right?
You would think.
Yeah, I mean,
You would think. It's actually 9 because there's an entry in here. It's horse number 8, but it'll leave from 9. So we'll have to overcome the outside post position. But in the second spot, I will use the entry, Clear Conscience and Rhetorical. I'll have Will Walden in later. I'll get a little feedback on Rhetorical. 4 to 5, I think more Rhetorical than Clear Conscience, but Clear Conscience is good. Had a buyer figure that was better than Rhetorical last time. But with only the 3 starts for Rhetorical, there seems to be a lot of promise here. And again,
always the favorite. I mean, this is Clear Conscience helps the end, but it's got to be Rhetorical.
Not going to help the price.
4 to 5. No. No.
But again, I both halves are interesting, but Rhetorical is going to be fun to watch this afternoon. And then our friends at Saratoga have Union Trail, who's been a good runner for Jack Knowlton and Barkley Tag, and I think kind of fits in here, front end style, and that could be interesting this afternoon as well. 8 to 1 entry, 6 and 2.
It was tough for me because you have the questions that Seth posed about activist investing, but in the hands of Chad Brown, they almost kind of erase the questions of, if the price is attractive, you're like, I'm in. 4 to 1 would be attractive. Yeah. The entry, I have the entry. It's mostly driven by Rhetorical, but I will say this: the 2 and the 3 underneath, they only have to a little bit improve down inside at bigger prices. I think this race is about as intriguing as a race that has a morning line 4 to 5 shot. 1 entry, 3-2.
Race number 6 this afternoon. Our friend Kim Weir.
I was going to say, Swedish Fish. We could have gotten the bag for the season.
I got to get filled in. She did kind of a little charity trip with the whole team locally. Went to Uganda, I believe, a couple of weeks ago.
It's not on my bingo card that Uganda would be mentioned on the set today.
You got to get filled in on that.
Yes.
6th race today. Allowance non-winners are 1 other than. Again, on the grass, 1 mile and 3/16.
Love these races at the start at the top of the stretch. 6, 2, 7 for me. Seth and I agree on our top pick, but I have to tell you, I think this is wide open. Seth doesn't even have Curlin's Angel in second. I'll get to in a moment, but Chad sends out the 6 for the second start since Keeneland got beat at 3 to 10. Never very attractive. And looking at this, Seth, on the board, this would be that scary 1 to 5 shot. And we talk about how few there are in America, mathematically, 3, it's almost close to 2 to 5 on the board. But Manny Franco gets them out for the first time. For second, Curlin's Angel won on debut, like a good thing up at the Belmont meet. And then Bobby Jean at a huge price for our friend Mark Henning, 6, 2, 7.
I have it 6, 5, 3, and 4. I put the 2 in the 5th spot. And sometimes if you pick up the 1 sheet and you see I'm 5 deep, you might think he's going 5 deep. I get down to like the 3rd or the 4th and even the 2nd, and they're all kind of they mix together. And so if somebody's looking at the 2 and kind of looking for verification when they go out and see some public handicappers, I toss it on because I think Curlin's Angel is very playable, and as I say, could mix it up with the bottom half of my group. But I put Alamara on top. Nice races so far this season without a win, but the United States debut was a win in March of last year, laid off from March of last year to March of this year. And as I say, has been progressing nicely number-wise. I think is primed for a good effort for Chad Brown. Miguel Clement has Unreasonable, also started the career over in Europe, and since arriving in the United States, hasn't really fared that well. I have a sneaking suspicion this horse is better than we've seen so far. First start in the United States at Keeneland was a little bit promising, then tossed in a dud. I think the horse is better than that. I'm going to give this one a look at a price. And then Midnight Concerto in the 3rd spot, Ken McPeak trainee. Last start was in a state-bred stakes race and ran 5th in there, but with a number that I think, again, kind of mixes it up with this group. And at this level with this group, I think, again, can be a player in here. Fun race, actually. In the 6th, I have it 6, 5, 3, and 4.
All right, we'll be right back. Let's see. Yes, as I thought, to start the pick 6 in race 7.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
You like free money? Well, Capital OTB gives its players plenty of opportunities to cash in. At Capital OTB, there are so many ways for horse players to receive bonus dollars by simply participating in promotions such as our bankrolls, bounty bets, online handicapping contests, and much, much more. Plus, with Capital OTB's Player Rewards program, you get actual cash back. So what are you waiting for? Log on today at CapitalOTB.com or CapitalOTBBet.com and claim your free money.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad. Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit RTN.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
And for the many things that people love about Saratoga, high on the list, if not the top, 2-year-old racing, maiden special weights. I love when they start going. 6, we've already done that. That's race 7.
4, 9, 8, and 6. Emphasis. First time starter from Todd Pletcher by Yopon. We have already talked about Yopon a few times.
I'm going to talk about him again.
Again, he's off to a really good start as a sire of win early types. And so with him on top, that automatically attracted me. Dam herself won her career debut. She has produced win early siblings. Curly Jack won the career debut. Fanny and Freddie won the third start. Another sibling won starts 2 and 3. So I'm going to put emphasis on top. A couple of good workouts as well. 4 over the number 12, Our Magical Moon at 10-1, the Mark Cassie trainee. This is another one I'm interested to see if the odds hold up. And I say it all the time. The reason I like the 2-year-old races is because if you dig in a little bit, you find things other people don't see. And so maybe it will hold up, but good magic, fine sire of first out runners, 26 of them this year. 8 of them have hit the exacta. Dam has produced a couple of siblings that were win early. Dixie Serenade, second, then won in the third start. True Sweetheart won the career debut. That workout on July 1st looks very good. Again, I'm going to be intrigued to see. But a lot of what I'm mentioning isn't on the page. So that's what makes these races fun, and potentially you do get some value. Third spot, number 8, Growth Equity. I just automatically am attracted to, and typically I'll put them on top. The Chad Brown Klarvich firsters, they always seem well meant. But the siblings, I wasn't as thrilled with necessarily. 3 siblings, and overall their record is 35 starts, 2 wins, 5 seconds, 9 thirds. So again, the siblings didn't get my juices flowing, but they paid $425,000 for this horse. It is from a potent team, so had to have it in the mix. And given the team, I wouldn't be surprised. Day 1 starter has some siblings that showed a little bit of early promise. So the Shug runner, also interesting. 4, 9, 8, and 6.
All firsters except from the rail. 3, 4, 9 for me. I have the Yaupon Exacta in here, and then I have Mark Cassie's number 9, Our Magical Moon. Handsome Link from the rail. Butch Reed, 2-1 on debut. The Delaware Angle. Cash is King. Remember their classic winner?
Pennsylvania Smarty Jones?
No.
Oh, classic winner.
Well, Smarty Jones was also a classic winner. You were right there. Dual classic winner.
He wasn't Cassius King?
No. Wasn't he Someday Farm?
Maybe you're right.
Blue and White Silks. Cassius King, a Fleet Alex.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. 8th race this afternoon. Optional claimer, non-winners have won other than $110,000 up for grabs. They will travel 1 mile and 3/8 on the grass.
3 turns. And I would say of the main body, 10, 8 would be on the line for me. I am 396. Following one of my rules, it's this wide open. I'll take 12-1 on top for Michael Trambetta, making the second start since March 2nd. I like the comeback race down at Laurel, going 8.5. We get 3 turns today. Padiddle, I apologize, Fernando Abreu's runner. Throw out the last race. That was an off-the-turfer. They keep their spot coming out of the Man of War and Pan American. Get over early, should have that opportunity. Save some ground on at least 2 turns. And then Better Lucky Than Good. First start since November was the Belmont meet, 396 in the 8th.
I went with Better Lucky Than Good on top, 6-10, 13, and 7. Better Lucky Than Good did make that career debut Belmont Stakes weekend on that New York Red Day in the Kingston. And I thought ran well for a seasonal debut to move forward from. Second start back again off of that nice foundation. I'll tilt there. A nice 6-1 price. Second spot, Steadfast Resolve, George Weaver trainee. A couple of starts so far this year in February and April. They were both good closing efforts. When you're closing like that, you're always up against it a little bit, but we'll see. I think this horse will be rolling in the lane. And then in the third slot, Dear Dad. We're too deep on the AE list, so we need some help, to get in. And also we're going to be strung out. But at the trip, I don't think being outside is a huge concern. But again, there's a little bit of a question mark with the AE situation. We'll see. If it gets in, though, I think worth a look. 6-10, 13, and 7.
Ninth race starts stakes action, the Caress, 5.5 on the turf.
7, 2, 6, and 4. I'm going to put Future is Now on top. Mike Trombetta trainee. I say it all the time. I think the turf sprint situation is a specialty. Turf sprint stakes racing, really, and this horse has been proven as a turf sprint stakes specialist. Has won the half of the 16 career starts. That's remarkable in and of itself. Comes in off a close-up finish in the Intercontinental right here on Belmont Stakes weekend behind Pipsy. Pipsy got a 100 buyer figure. Future is Now a 98. I just think overall for me, a little more experience perhaps and a little more consistency perhaps than Pipsy. So I tilted slightly towards Future is Now. Zeitlost is really interesting to me. The Asmussen runner who is mostly a dirt sprinter and a pretty good dirt sprinter. Tried this race last year, however, and ran a close-up 5th. That Steve Asmussen tries again. I have Zeitlost in the mix just as an interesting that they're giving it another shot. Intrigued me. And then Pipsy. Future is Now and Pipsy are the two logicals. I just thought, bookend them around the interesting Zeitlost. But as I say, the whole thing is a tepid nod. It's an intriguing bunch in here. 7, 2, 6, and 4.
6 of the 9 turf runners come out of the Intercontinental. Throw the magic balls up and how they come down. But Pandora's Gift to me, I'm 5-7-6. The Intercontinental for her was the second start after a sharp seasonal debut. So that's the Mormino angle. Now I expect a bigger race, and I think I'm going to be one of the, second division of the price horses. Number 7, Future is Now, runner-up, beaten favorite. Second start of the year. And for third, Pipsy, who won the Intercontinental. Fantastic race. 5-7-6. I am a little sad that Caress doesn't get in the Caress.
All right, we'll take our last break of the hour. We'll come back and wrap it up for Saturday afternoon. Stay tuned.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
The highlight of the day on this Saturday afternoon card at Saratoga will be race number 10, Coaching Club American Oaks, Grade 1 event, $500,000 up for grabs, 9 furlongs the trip for the 3-year-old fillies.
And let me just say, no matter what you read, nowhere near the 3-year-old filly championship is being decided here. I think it's a good betting race, which I like. 3, 5, and 6. See, my guy isn't. Seth doesn't even have my horse in the picture, which third start of the year. I say regularly about efforts in the slop, the acorn. I kind of move on as if, I compartmentalize them. So you got the race. It's the third start of the year. I'm a McKinsey. I'm inside. I'm going to be a price. And by the way, I talked about the Raging Sea. I don't know what the figure was, but remember I said I think at 88, because I just don't think she's the same horse, would get it done. I have to think the same thing here. I think if you hit 90, you're a major player here. And Lacara has a 93, but that's it. And I'm always skeptical of performance numbers given in the slot.
And it's totally an aberration as compared to the others.
I'm in it. Scottish Lassie, to me, is a major player. Dry powder. Yes, Chad Summers runner has to increase, but the Wilton, what was the Wilton? The prep for the Alabama last year winner?
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm in it. And then Lacara, who's a major player here, but 3, 5, 6, and I think a terrific betting race.
Yeah, Dry Powder and Al Gold runner, and it's typical with Al Gold by Gun Runner, Dry Powder. There's always something to work there with Al. 6, 1, 4, and 3 for me. I went back and forth. I really did. Immersive to me is going to be the horse to beat off of the seasonal debut and the near miss. Take Charge My Lady that day looked great coming from out of it. That might be the game plan again today. But Lacara with that Acorn win, I just, as you say, the number, I'm not sure I'm buying into it totally, but I don't totally discount it either, particularly with the 3-year-old filly, 11 career starts, may just be getting that good now. So I'm going to go with Lacara to maybe be able to take him all the way around. I think Immersive is going to push, though. I think kind of has to push unless somebody else goes out there and do it, but I think she's perhaps the only one, maybe Dry Powder. But I have a feeling Lacara might be able to sneak away and get it done. And I didn't want to sit on the sidelines and not use her because I've liked her all season long, going back to the seasonal debut down at Tampa. So I'm going to stick there. But Immersive, I think, is going to benefit from that seasonal debut, just getting nipped by Take Charge My Lady. And I put Take Charge My Lady in the third spot off just a really good effort to just get by Immersive down to Churchill and the Monomoy Girl. I think it's a fun race with those 3 in here, certainly. I have it 6, 1, 4, and 3.
The grade 1 Vanderbilt, grade 2, Vanderbilt downgraded, going 6.
1, 5, 4, and 8. I'll put Skelly on top. Yeah, clunked last time.
This is kind of like Skelly's not running.
Okay.
I have, once again, wait till it's official and everything, but this is one of those 99.5 Skelly's out.
Okay.
So I hate to.
No, I didn't see it. That's good info if it's right. I did not see it. I was going in that direction off the 2 triple digits, 2 and 3 starts back, clunked last time. But if Skelly is not, we will move up 5, 4, and 8. Bookham Dano. Just so easy to root for this New Jersey bred who won the True North back here Belmont Stakes weekend and has had a fabulous career, 8 wins and 14 starts, including a couple of nice wins up here at Saratoga on the resume. That includes the Woody Stevens last year. So I'll put that one on top on a move up. Mulligan, certainly very good off a second in the last start behind Bookham Dano. And again, is a high level sprinter, stakes level sprinter.
Oh, this is getting bad. Look, David Granning reported 7 minutes ago that Lacara is going to scratch from the CCA Oaks. That barn has been placed under quarantine. So pay attention to the network today. Skelly, I read that Steve Ashley he's just not happy with where he was this week. No big thing, but there you go. So
I have Nakatomi in the fourth spot. Who, again, nice runner for Wesley Ward. So now 5, 4, and 8.
Couple races are changing much here. I'm 4, 7, and 2. I don't want to keep Kendrick Hughes. I think Baby Yoda is going to run well. I'm shocked you didn't have him in your mix. 4, 7, 2 for me.
12th and final allowance non-winners are 1 other than 7 for all.
Very intrigued by this race. I'm down inside with the 1. I'm at a big price, making the first start since January 25th, but 1-6-10 for me.
11, 6, 9, and 3. I'm going to use the Klarovich Chad runner off the maiden breaker down in Monmouth. We said it before. Don't ignore the shippers from Monmouth from that barn. They'll be live. So 11, 6, 9, and 3.
Right. So just pay attention to the network, but it's Skelly out of the Vanderbilt from the rail and LaCara from the outside in the CCA Oaks, which to me, it kind of hurts me from the betting standpoint because I had her down in, not in first, and she would have taken a lot of money.
All right, we'll wrap it up for the Handicappers Report. Top of the hour racing across America. Kendrick Carmouche is in the house. A little bit after that, Will Walden, Jose Santos. Should be a fun edition. Stay tuned.
This has been the Handicappers Report, brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.